Optimal Limited, one of Nigeria's leading experiential marketing agencies. She holds a degree from Obafemi Awolowo University and an MBA from the University of Lagos, and is a chartered HR professional, ACIPM and SHRM SCP certified. With over 8 years of strategic HR experience spanning recruitment, employee engagement, learning and development, and organizational growth. She has supported talent development across both the engineering and marketing sectors. Beyond HR, she's also a business strategist, consulting on organizational structure, workforce planning, and brand strategy for SMEs, helping businesses scale with clarity and purpose. Funto is passionate about personal development and believes strongly in international living, intentional living, growth, and meaningful career and business advancement. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Funto Adegoke, your event host.
Good morning, everyone. Are we happy to be here? But we seem cold. Is it that we've not eaten or what exactly? Is it food? We should be fasting, though. Seeing how things are currently in the nation. Yes, we ought to be fasting and praying. Yes. But we are excited to have every one of you here. We have a lot of people here today, students, programmers, automation engineers, and a whole list of professionals here as well. So I'm happy that we all have availed ourselves to come in today, and we'll just get into it as quickly as possible as we've taken a bit of our time already. But before I move forward, I would like to also bring up stage my co-host. He is also a seasoned automation engineer with Adecco. So you're welcome, Mr. Joseph. So a word?
Let me find out. All right. Good morning, everyone. Just like the earlier said, my name is Joseph. Happy to have each and every one of us here. We hope to have an amazing day today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I would also invite somebody up stage very quickly. Is the convener of this event. Yes. So this is his brainchild base. Hence the reason why he said, okay, let us create an opportunity for young people, aspiring professionals, even those who are already in this industry, to just come, share their knowledge, for us to network with each other, and of course, grow within the industry as well. His name is Adeola Adams Adigbite, but I'll read his profile very quickly. He's a results-driven industrial automation engineer and a strategic business leader with close to a decade of experience bridging technology, engineering, and innovation, and business. Serves as the automation and instrumentation manager at Adecco Project Engineering. He currently leads a cross-functional team, and of course, like I mentioned to us, he has a lot of experience, hands-on experience in this space, and from that wealth of knowledge, he's willing to impact young people, grow teams, and of course, not just within Nigeria, but outside the shores of this country. So with great pleasure, I will invite Mr. Adeola Adams Adigbite. A warm round of applause.
Good morning. Good morning. The day started slow, a little bit of glitch here and there. I guess we're engineers, and then we're used to things not going exactly the same. I also believe that there are people that are either project managers or aspiring project managers here. They understand that for every plan, you have a plan B, plan C, and all those stuff. So good morning once again, everyone. Okay, so welcome to Nigeria Automation First. Sorry, I'm going to come off the stage. if that's okay. I want to be able to connect with people. Okay, so this started as an idea in my mind for about 2 years now. More than 2 years. Was when I first thought about this, and then shared with a few friends then. But then we didn't do anything about it until this year, right? And then when we started out, it started with a call. I called a few friends, and then we had some conversations to say, okay, there's a problem, there's a gap in the industry. Now, the gap is simple. There is a large demand for skilled solid automation engineers. There's a demand for people that understand how things work, that can actually implement stuff. This got heightened when one of my team members had to leave the country, and then it took me about 6 to 7 months to replace one person. Actually, I did not replace that person with a skilled person. What I had to do eventually was to create a system where we are going to now train people in-house, right? To be able to meet up with the skill, because it was very difficult. And then I thought to myself that what exactly is the problem? Is the problem that people are not aware? What exactly is the problem? And then we start checking. We said if we can create a platform, a system that ensures that more people are interested in actually learning this. Now, what makes, for example, an average person here who is a student knows about front-end, back-end, correct? Right? Why do you know about it? It's because it's popular. I mean, you have a lot of people talking about it and on all those stuff, correct? Yeah, so there's so much in industrial automation, and there's so many parts of it, right? But then there's little noise around it. And because people don't know about it, they don't know what it is. It's both junior and senior guys here surely can testify. And then you are staying on a project for more than 6 hours. You can go without eating, and then you are actually doing programming because it's just intriguing, right? But then people don't get to know this feeling. Do you know why? It's simple. It's because they are not aware. And then we talk about how we're going to create the awareness, how we're going to ensure that more people know about this. When they know about it, then how do we put a system in place to ensure that people are trained properly? Because that's where the next problem is. The next problem is that while doing these several interviews, talking to several people, we figured out that there are so many people that think they know what it is to be an automation engineer, but then in actual reality, they are not just there. Do you understand? And then we felt, okay, let's have a system where you bring senior guys in the industry. They come, people that have experience, and then they share their experience. They let you know what it is, spark an interest in you, and then guide you as it were. Yes, by the end of today, I'm also going to talk about the plans for next year, right, going forward. But then we now thought about it that, so how do you ensure that people are actually interested, right? And that's why we came up with the competition. How many people registered for the competition? Okay, I can see. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, fantastic. And then we came up with a competition. We're going to have a competition to also recognize guys that are giving in the work, that are putting in the work, right? So you're putting in the work, you get rewarded for it. So if you're good enough for it, you're going to engage. You can do better than this. Awesome, guys. I want to let you know that, honestly, all I just had to do was to just share the idea, share the vision with a couple of friends, and they're like, this is fantastic, let us run with it. And then, bam, we're on it. And then guys are just meeting nights and day, night and day, and day. We're putting our stuff together. People from engineering, people that are not even in engineering, right, that see that this is a need, the gap that needs to be filled, right? So I implore you, right, to make this your first. Take charge of this, right? Don't just be here. Next slide, please. Don't just be here, right? Engage. Do connect with people, right? Learn. Be curious. Now, it's very important for you to ask questions when it's time to ask questions. Ask enough questions, as many questions as possible. The goal of this, as I've said, is to spark interest. Meet with people that can mentor you. There are a lot of senior guys here. Meet with people that can mentor you. Meet with people that you can also run together. I have people in this hall that have known each other for more than 10 years, right? And we met on the job. So that means you can meet the next person that, you can run together, as it were. Yeah, so connect to people, be curious, learn. Let it first begin.
So for the next part of our program, we'll be having the first keynote session, and I'll be bringing up stage a seasoned professional in this field. But before I call him up, I will just read out his biography. Engineer Olawale Akonde is a registered engineer and a distinguished leader in automation and control systems. He earned his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Ilorin, Nigeria, in 2007, and currently serves as Director of Engineering at DEM Controls Limited. Olawale has held several notable leadership roles, including President of the ISA Nigeria Session 2022 to 2024, where he led groundbreaking initiatives such as the first ever ISA Session Conference in Africa and the inauguration of the ISA Uni-Ilorin Student Chapter. His leadership has significantly shaped the automation landscape in Nigeria, driving over 70% growth in leadership groups across West Africa, including Cameroon, Ghana, and Kenya, achieving the century mark of over 100 membership in December 2023. A new age for the drive and growth of automation in Nigeria was birthed. A TUV Rainland certified functional safety engineer, ISA certified automation professional, and PMI certified project management professional. Olawale brings technical depth and industry-wide recognition. With over a decade and half industry experience, he has successfully managed several projects across sectors like oil and gas, power, utilities, FMCG, petrochemicals, and infrastructure, specializing in automation and control systems, electrical and instrumentation, safety systems, compressor controls, and ICSS system development, and promoting robotics and education for children, especially in non-privileged kids in the slums. With his expertise in delivering end-to-end engineering solutions, spanning detailed design, system configuration, FAT and SAT commissioning, and O&M supports, Olawale continues to be a driving force for innovation, safety, and growth in the automation industry. With great pleasure, I would like to invite Engineer Olawale upstage. Please, let's jam our hands. You're welcome, sir. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's glad seeing familiar faces again. Okay. I don't even know where to start. I already apologize to the convener this morning that I won't be able to run a slide because I've been on the move and I just came back to Lagos yesterday. And we're talking about the future of automation, right? It starts with you, but you need to be ready for the future. I want to especially thank the convener, Engineer Adeola, and his team, Engineer Dimeji Fatono, Eno Kajani, my friend, and all the coordinators, Pufukai, Shomailin, Joseph, Ogunzi, who have not seen him. I know we've had a chat some time ago, and so many of you that have seen your names that I'm not able to mention. For your love and drive for the automation profession, thank you for organizing this event. Please, let me give them a round of applause, please. It's only passion. It's only passion that brings people together that they want to organize stuff like this. It's passion. What's going to make you leave your primary job and say you want to plan something to grow automation? Look, are they paying you for that? No. So it's passion, and that's what can help us in the automation. Automation is the field that it revolves. If you don't upskill yourself in some years to come, you'll not be valuable in the industry. Yes. It's not like, sorry, permit me to use this word, our approaches to those doing civil or mechanical. It's not like civil engineering or agricultural engineering. It's an evolving if you want to become automation specialist, you need to upskill every month, every day, every year. And that's what it takes. As you know, like most of you here, you are ISA members, and myself, I'm an executive member of ISA member. I'm currently district chair for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. As the first African to take that position. And my plan for 2026 is collaboration. To see Nigeria first collaborate with ISA Nigeria section to even make this a more bigger event, you know, to increase the impact in terms of globalization. I'm very big in diversity and inclusion. And as it is, because we are in Nigeria, doesn't mean we can't collaborate with those in Algeria, Cameroon, and different West African regions. We are one Africa. And if we don't work on our future on ourselves, nobody will. Let's go to the business of the day. How many of you have seen the headlines? AI is coming for your jobs. Of course. Robotics will replace engineers. Those are interesting headlines, right? Automation means unemployment. Yeah. Sometimes at night when I'm scrolling through my phones, I get worried. It's really common. Well, there are some things that they don't tell you. It's easy for them to say AI will affect 40% of the job in the world. But remember, they say affect, not replaced. So pay attention. Affect. I'll talk about 5 things. First thing is the AI might, or mid, however you want to call it. Second is current technology trends. Third is Industry 4.0 versus 5.0. 4.0 caused all this. I won't call it problem, but 4.0 brought us to this stage. And I'll tell you what 5.0 is doing differently. The Nigeria situation, challenges and opportunities. And lastly, where are you in terms of your career? They say 40% of the job worldwide will be affected by AI, like I said earlier. Affected, not replaced. Let me tell you a short story. In the 80s, my uncle used to work as, of course, manual typer, like secretary, using manual typewriting. And when they brought computers in the 80s, everybody was like, yes, this is it. Game over. It's taking over all our jobs. But do you know what happened? The person that manually types before can now work with the computer, and to a position, he was given the position of systems administrator, right? The same thing that happened in 1980, I think this is the time they are taking over our job. It is happening now for AI. It's the same thing. So don't get yourself confused by saying, going by the word AI is coming to replace. It's only telling you that this is a revolution. I need to start seeing AI as a workmate, as a teammate, as a tool, and not as a replacement. In terms of the work we do in automation, let's be honest. We all agree we do repetitive tasks, right? Yes. Check logs, troubleshoot a particular issue every now and then, routine maintenance. But we all agree that AI can do those stuff. AI is basically meant for repetitive tasks and optimization. AI can't replace human because we created AI. Yes. And let me give you examples of what AI is doing today. In terms of predictive maintenance, yes, you can develop AI application to see patterns. There are patterns AI can see that you can't actually see as an engineer or as a maintenance engineer. And to tell you that, hello, in these 3 days, picture is increasing and this picture is increasing and this particular bearing worn out. In the next 3 days, they could be shut down. Humans, we don't have this capability to, you need to build up this analytics. So it's very heavy in stuff like that. The revolution, it was a 1.0, mechanical, look, that's past. What are those things I need to be looking at right now? We are currently in Industry 4.0 and 5.0 is also starting. First, I'll give you like 5 trends. The number one is the predictive maintenance I talked about, which is the AI predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance changes everything. Sensors collect data in real time. AI spots pattern and you and I will never see. It gives you warning before things break. You order the part, even while the equipment is still running, you order the part already before breakdown. So it makes us more proactive. Second, I think we should all be very, very conversant with this for those of us in Nigeria. You send data to the cloud and there's parts, systems that have edge computing capabilities. For example, Rockwell Automation. For those that are competent with Rockwell Automation, there's Factory Talks Analytics, Logics AI, that's built on compact logics and control logics. For that, the operational personnel can actually deploy AI and ML model for data stored in the controller. I mean, with that, use the controller tags as a source of data to predict operational values. I think they also have another one called Vision AI, basically for quality control. Guys, this is here already. This is the same Rockwell you use, you program. It's here. They've already started embedding it into their PLC. So don't say AI is coming to take your job. You upscale your skill. If I want to hire any engineer today and I see someone that can do this, that already know how to use Logics AI, Vision AI, or generative AI for factory talk studio design, I'd rather go for that person. There's always cost of quality. For me, I'm big on hiring right and spending for quality. If I have a generative AI in my factory talk studio that can help me carry out prompt engineering when I'm doing my coding, that makes my work faster. This is where we are going in terms of edge computing. 3, digital twins. I'm telling you, there are opportunities. This is a current technology trend that you can build yourself on, and you'll be valuable for the next 10, 15 years. It is out there. You just need to know what to focus on. First one, predictive analytics. Second, edge computing. Third, digital twins. Imagine you're having the visual platform, visual model of your facility on your system. And the question they will ask is, okay, fine, it's on your system. So what about the real-time values? Yes, with IoT. You install smart transmitters, real-time values of the transmitters, your valve, position, everything down via IoT to your system. I can test and upgrade on that digital twins before implementing. If I put it to 10%, what will happen? And you see problem happens and how to solve them in a non-production environment. That's the power of digital twins. Fourth trend, collaborative robots. Most engineers don't like to hear, or operation personnel don't like to hear robots. Robot doesn't mean that they will replace all the factory workers. I know for those in the manufacturing industry, some of them won't agree with me. No. They bring me more robots. We won't be able to check our pressure, check our HMI touch panel and all that. Look, they call them cobots, robots that work with humans. For example, Tesla uses cobots to carry out the heavy lifting. There are tasks that are physically demanding that it's been assigned for robots to do. But who does the programming? You. Who does the design? You. Your jobs are out there. The only thing there is what we're having now, what I'm seeing now is job evolution. Right? Job evolution in terms of future of automation. Take note that I'm not taking this outside the automation landscape. If you go into the IT world, it's a different thing they'll be talking about. So I try to limit my speech to industrial automation. Fifth, 5G connectivity. I know you guys will say 5G, when even 4G is not in all parts of Lagos. Why would disturbing us? I'll tell you, pay more attention to this presentation, because this is what will be happening. The same thing happened in 1980, like I'm repeating myself again, when they brought in computer, it's going to take over everywhere. And today we upskilled and can have system administration. Very soon we'll be having PS/AI engineer. Yes, new roles are coming up. Be prepared for that. 2 days ago, I did little prompt engineering, and the AI brought in the statement, incomplete statement list. Fine. They are getting close. AI wants to start writing ladder logic for you. If you are seeing the era of, look, I'm trying to even learn software, you are wasting your time. You need to move right now. You need to start moving. It will become your tools that will enhance your productivity. Fourth, sustainability. I'm still on the Industry 5.0. Building systems that don't just produce more stuff, but produce it responsibly, which is less waste. Fourth, resilience. System designed to be adaptable to handle disruption. We're in Nigeria, we understand disruption very well. Power cuts, supply chain issues, all of that, Industry 5.0, doctors and robots work together to predict, to prescribe medication for patients. We also have, for example, BMW, where humans and robots work together to produce product that is specific for a particular customer requirement. Part 4, the Nigeria situation. We face infrastructure gaps. We all know that. Supply is unreliable. Internet goes and comes. We have skill gap in terms of advanced technology. Even our investment in research and development is very, very low compared to other developed countries. To access technology, we have gaps in terms of cost, awareness, and accessibility. These challenges are real, so I won't stand there and pretend like they are not real too. Where do you stand? Where do you think you stand? Let me give you 5 practical strategies that you can start implementing from tomorrow. 5. First, stay informed. You are here today, right? Technologies move fast. Be part of automation professional associations like IEEE, ISA. ISA is a standard body that gives you access to free webinars on current technology trends. Expensive global standard app given to you for free. You have access to that. You have professional networking with people outside your area, discounted trainings and global certification and career growth path if you're a member of ISA. 2, learn new skills. You don't need to become data scientists, but you do need to understand the basis of machine learning, data analysis, and AI application. Take online courses. Like most people will say, oh, I need money to buy. I'm trying to see anybody can give me trial version. Still be there looking for trial version. The 50 gig you spend per week on Instagram and X, you can use that same 50 gig data to read automation videos, to learn. Automation has evolved beyond the stage where you say that without software you cannot do anything anymore. No. Before, there are no access to all this massive data we have when we have the landline, and nobody even have access to internet. But today you have data, but we're using it for Instagram. And X, I want to follow the next thing happening. Let me go and comment. And after you are done, man, sir, I'm really trying. I didn't have software application would have. You are deceiving yourself. Like one thing I tell my mentees, and for those people that know me, probably my former mentees, the first thing I ask is, you are your greatest investment. If you can't invest in yourself, I can't invest in that kind of person, because I can't like your containers. If you are not prioritizing yourself, how can I prioritize you and increasing efficiency? Problem solving, it's numerous. Programming, designing, you have a lot to do. And you can achieve some of these tasks by actually using AI as a tool, not as a replacement. 4, embrace collaboration. AI is your teammate. It's not your enemy. Learn how to work with AI systems. Understand their systems, their strengths and limitations. Know when to trust them, and of course, know when to override them. This know when to override them reminds me, anytime I'm going to APA, apologies for those saying the APA, I don't use Google Map in Alpha because whatever Google Map tells me in Alpha is probably the opposite because I've learned from that. The same thing applies to AI. Know when to override them. Not everything you go with AI. But I'm just telling you that as an engineer, you also need to know the capability that it has. And lastly, learn prompt engineering. This might sound weird, but today, being able to communicate effectively with AI. I was in Abuja 2 days ago, and 3 graduate students from Nile University built AUV. Graduates, they don't know pre-NYC. Pre-NYC, using SLAM and different MLs. ROV is remote operated vehicle for engineers have really progressing across the world. Remember, you don't have to be great, but you have to start to be great. This is my words to every one of you today, and I would like to stop on this point. Again, thank you for listening. I don't know if I've spent beyond my time, but I always like to move fast.
All right.
This is it. I would like to present a
Thank
question.
you so much, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. All right. On this note, without wasting much of our time, we'll go into the question and answer session. So if you have any question, anyone has any question in mind, for me, I have quite a number of questions I want to ask, which I believe that for most of the students here, these are some of the questions we should have behind our mind, because he talked about the 80s, how the introduction of computer came into existence when we were using manual typewriters. And if you look at it, we talked about Industry 4.0. So the next question will be that, was there Industry 1.0? Was there Industry 2.0? Was there 3.0? Why 4? What happened? What was the evolution like starting from 1? These are questions. So not necessarily, this is my own question. So I don't know. And the floor is open. You have Engineer Wale here. You have any question in mind you want clarity on? We talked about AI. I mean, virtually all of us here, if I'm not wrong, for most of us, we are already making use of AI. And then most of us are using it wrongly. So, for instance, say you want to respond to an email, and then you say professionally rewrite the email. Most people just copy and paste. And then you see, okay, and then you see the tools are available, but then you actually need to know how to make use of these tools. Yeah, so the floor is open. Anybody with questions, just like I said, but the question still stands. We want to know Industry 1.0, what happens, 2.0, what happened, 3.0, and what were their objectives. Yeah. All right, sir. If there's no question, sir.
Yeah. So thank you for the message. So I would like to ask one question. And it's actually not about AI. Yes. I think the reason why people are overwhelmed about automation is about the way we put it forward. Yes. People that actually go to school, they are not really informed about automation in school. So now we're talking about AI. I think my own question is, where should people start? It's not really about AI. People are overwhelmed when they hear about the trends. But where are they going to start? That's my question.
All right, thank you very much. I like the question, and that's why we're here today. Where it actually starts from you. I'm putting it back to you. You see, there's something, and not just you alone, most people. First, you need to know what you want for yourself and what you're currently doing. You need to first know yourself. Who am I working to? What am I planning to become? You say you're not an engineering graduate, maybe you're not in the field, but there must have to be something driving you. So it starts with that thing that's driving you. You need to know where you're. Give a little more time. Go for that free internship. In fact, some people are looking for free internships they're not even seeing. So if you're still looking for them to pay you 1 million or 800K, 500K for internship, go get this knowledge. My last note is, the richest man in the world, what's he selling? Elon Musk. It's knowledge. Nobody can pay for that. So if I have to work for free to get that knowledge, it's wisdom. You understand? So that's, I don't know if I've responded to you. It's so wide, your question, but it's difficult for me because I don't know your area of specialty. I like to drive, what's propelling you depends on what you're actually looking at yourself to be. I know what I want to be, and I'm in that path. And everything I'm doing is channeled towards that path. If I see anything coming to disrupt me, I wave it aside. So you need to know yourself. You need to determine, you need to discover yourself. This is what I want to focus on and follow that path. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. It's just one more question to round up, which is the trend of the industry, Industry 1.0, 2.0. We just want a breakdown of, because we know Industry 4.0 is more on connectivity. Yes. So we just want you to run us through. So. Thank you.
All right. So, sorry, I just jumped because I know that most of the conference, everyone wants to start for 1.0. I was like, let me not, it's almost all the time at the conference, so let me just go to 4.0. Yes, 1.0, of course, the age of physical, mechanical, you have this mechanical system, wheel, purely mechanical. And industrial computer, no, way beyond that. It's way beyond that. If you like, disable all the USB port. So, look, things are evolving. And like I say, more connectivity, more relaxation brings more vulnerability. And that's how we have to see that I62443 cybersecurity standard, is helping us to see that, which part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, there's about starting part 6 to see that we are fully compliant, our system is protected. So Joseph, I don't know if I've answered your question. Right. Mechanical 1, mechanical plus electrical 2, 3, electrical, mechanical and automation, then 4 is connectivity. And with 4 started abandon humans, right? And 5 is coming back, which is called the human-centric revolution. That's what Industry 5.0 is bringing.
All right, so we will be having just like a 5-minute break, just 5 minutes, just to meet and greet each other, just 5 minutes. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spot, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. Through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward. Through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We elevate. We We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We are are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line, with skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward through every system, every line, with skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line, with skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line, with skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward through every system, every line, with skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line, with skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward.
All right. Thank you very much. We can start. Go back to our various seats.
We move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward.
I'd like to thank each and every one of us.
We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward.
But for now,
We move
thank you so much.
We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest.
Alright, thank you very much. Just like I said, we'll still have.
We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate.
Alright, please, we can all settle down.
We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line.
Alright,
with skill
so
and vision
for
so
me,
divine.
I got
Together
to
we
see
rise,
whoever
together we
we've
test
chatting
the power
virtually.
of Nigeria.
Alright,
Please let's settle down. For those who are still outside, please let's come in.
We move Nigeria
We have a panel
forward
session
through every
coming
system,
up
every
next,
line.
and we
with
have
skill
seasoned speakers who will be sitting on the panel. I hope that we would have questions. We are going to have our jotters filled at the end of this session. And of course, gain as much as we can from these professionals. So I'll start with the first person who will be calling up stage. I will read an introduction before he's brought up stage. I have Mr. Belema Kolewosho. He's a seasoned industrial automation professional and the current Okay, apologies. I gave her a wrong sex. Apologies, Ma. So she's a seasoned industrial automation professional and the current territory technology lead at Schneider Electric, driving innovative and sustainable automation solutions across West Africa. With over a decade of experience in process automation, energy management, and IoT integration, she has led successful implementations across sectors, including water, oil and gas, food and beverage. Passionate about solving complex technical and social problems, Belema combines deep expertise in process automation, decarbonization, and functional safety with human-centered approach to engineering. Beyond her technical achievements, she's a vocal advocate for women in engineering, career, wellness, and work-life balance in the tech industry. Belema is currently pursuing an MBA in sustainability at Nextford University, equipping her to lead organizations through evolving landscapes of digital transformation and environmental responsibility. Our goal is to leverage our experience and education to deliver impactful, data-driven engineering solutions that enable greener, smarter, and more resilient future. So with a warm round of applause, Warm round of applause, please. Let's invite her upstage. Mrs. Belema Kolejo. You're welcome, ma. Please, let's keep clapping since she's up. A force in this space. You're welcome, ma. Yes, sir. Okay, so the next person I'll be calling up stage is Engineer James Edet. James Edet is a seasoned technical, digital, and project engineering manager with over 20 years of proven leadership and impact across the manufacturing, FMCG, energy management, and project engineering industries. He currently serves as the electrical and automation manager at Nestle Nigeria PLC, Flourgate Factory Shagam, where he leads the implementation of Factory 4.0 smart manufacturing, digital manufacturing operations, and automation systems that drive operational excellence. Throughout his distinguished career at Nestle across Nigeria and Ghana, James has successfully managed large-scale automation projects, electrical and instrumentation systems, and intelligent manufacturing processes. His expertise spans across SCADA systems, Industry 4.0 integration, energy management, and CAPEX project execution. James is widely respected for his strategic leadership, ability to build strong internal and external collaborations, and commitment to continuous improvement and lifelong learning. His passion for digital transformation and team development has contributed to setting new standards of innovation and efficiency in manufacturing operations. He holds multiple degrees and certifications, including HND, BSc, MBA, Mechanical Engineering degree as well, CCNA, PMP, and a member of NSC and ISAN, reflecting his dedication to professional excellence. At Nigeria Automation Fest, James brings a wealth of practical insights from decades of hands-on experience, guiding organizations through the future of smart manufacturing and automation transformation. Okay, so I'll just read through the next person's introduction so that we would have Mrs. Belema take a session before they come up stage as well. I have Mr. Frank Chipandru. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly. Yes. Mr. Frank is an accomplished automation and control systems engineer with over 13 years of experience in industrial automation, maintenance and reliability, innovation, safety and efficiency in the food and beverage industry. Currently serving as electrical and automation engineering manager at Heineken BV, that is Nigerian Breweries. Frank leads the design, installation, commissioning, technical audit of automation, electrical and instrumentation projects while supporting shop floor excellence, autonomous maintenance, asset care, reliability improvement in control system design, and optimum resource utilization. He plays a pivotal role in CAPEX and OPEX planning, machine safety, and technical leadership across multiple sites. Previously, he held roles as brewery automation engineer and automation engineer at Nigerian Breweries PLC, where he spearheaded the optimization of brewing and packaging automation systems, building capabilities in OT/IT, leveraging shop floor ingenuity and collaboration to sustain machine and process control systems, basic conditions to deliver business KPIs. Franklin is a TUV Rhineland certified functional safety engineer and a certified maintenance and reliability professional. A certified project manager with PMI and IPMA credentials. His expertise spans across DCS, SCADA, PLC programming with Siemens, HMI development, process control system, EMS integration, machine control system optimization, machine safety, ILOT, and industrial cybersecurity. His passion for embedded engineering and emerging technologies in industrial automation especially in the areas of OT and IT convergence, industrial Internet of Things, and cybersecurity in IA. With a proven record of delivering complex automation solutions and mentoring technical teams, Team Frank continues to advance innovation and reliability in Africa's manufacturing and industrial automation sector. Engineer Frank joins this panel to discuss resiliency by design, which is building cybersecurity into automation system from day one. I would invite Mrs. Belema upstage now for a session, while the other panelists will come up when she's done.
Thank you very much. I was not going to begrudge her for calling me a he. I get that a lot, when you work in automation. It's a very refreshing one to be here, especially when I see my egbons in the industry. Wale was, should I say, when I first worked as a control systems engineer, he was my first boss. And I remember, working in a room full of about 10 guys in the team then, doing the first, my first cutover commissioning on Chevron with him, are hungry and who are ready. I mean, this is what, 10, 12 years ago. He knows what he's saying. And for the ladies, I'm very happy to see a lot of ladies in the room because, it doesn't come easy, especially when you are not working with the, should I say, core function company, like with the actual implementers that are going to the field, do this programming, wire up the cabinets. It's a, should I say, it's a privilege, okay? And it's one that is very rewarding, when we as women go in. You can see I'm expecting, but that's not a deterrent, okay? So I'll say charge on. And he said, like he said, you should always think about what you're going to do in this industry. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about standards. Do you have my slides? I'm going to be talking about standards and certifications and how that implies with the automation and control industry. Now, what are standards? Standards are basically rules, okay, that we have to follow. Rules that we have to abide by, okay, to be able to make this innovation actually work. One of the things that we see every time you open, LinkedIn, is you see one innovator or the other, somebody who has done a water generator, someone who has done, something novel, something with hydraulics and all of these things. But then there's always something missing. And what's missing is standards. You also see a lot of people, bright people, who start out their career. And one of the things that they miss to be able to launch forward, is the confidence that tells them that they are in the right place at the right time. You can have mentors. You can have a lot of people, that are spurring you on. In fact, apart from Wale, I have Mr. Dapo here that is my personal mentor in industry, okay? So you have all of that. But you would still not be assured as an engineer, a control engineer, or any engineer in that regard, if you don't know the standards. So again, I go back and we look at standards. What are standards? They are basically rules that you have to follow. They are guidelines. They are, should I say, theories that have been developed from different test phases. You have different people who have had these ideas, who have tested them, who have turn them upside down and try to see how they work, okay? Many a time we have things that are bought from different countries. They come into Nigeria and they say, oh, this stuff is fake. Many a time those things are not fake. The reason why they don't work in the Nigerian climate, go check, is most likely because the standards that have guided those innovations did not put into cognizance the Nigerian environment. We talk about, large learning models, today large language models, that support the AI engines that we have today, okay? One of the biggest problems, that I've also seen there is that these language models are not localized. So the first thing that we need to take away, when we are talking about standards, is the fact that these are guidelines that have gone through rigorous testing in different climates, okay? And then you come up with a set of rules that want to ensure that that innovation is safe. I watched one video the other day. It was a chemistry teacher. I don't know how many of you saw that video. And he was teaching his students and telling them, when I put this base inside this acid, it's just going to fizzle. It's not going to make a loud noise. And what then happened? The thing just went boom. And everybody went scampering. Okay? I think one of the things that I learned before was that you do not add a base to an acid. You add acid to base. Okay? So I guess he missed that in the instruction sheet when he decided to go teach. And that's where standards come in. Okay? Because they first make it safe. Innovation that is not safe is a liability. An innovator that is not safe becomes either a serial killer or a terrorist. Okay? You just hear that one building went down. Oh, you know, there are terrorists over there. No, it was probably just an innovator that forgot to check the standards. Okay? So it makes it safe. The next thing it does is that it helps us stick to quality. Anybody can come up with something, some automation or the other. I mean, I want to move a ball from here to there. I can decide to use hydraulics. I can decide to use gears. Or I can decide to use electronics. Okay? A definite result all the time that fits a particular quality, you have to have a standard. That whether you do that in America or you do that in Nigeria, anywhere around the world, you get the same result. And that's another thing, quality. So the first thing I said was safety. The next one is quality. And the other one is it ensures that there is posterity to that innovation. And innovation doesn't just die out. Okay? It makes it possible for many other people to replicate. That's why today we have a lot of OEMs in the, in the automation industry. You have Schneider Electric, which is my company. You have Rockwell. You have Siemens. And the list just goes on. You have a lot of, OEMs in the space that are doing automation and control. You also have smaller companies. Probably their names are not so widely known, okay, because of their economic might. But these people are churning out controllers, and they're doing things that at the end of the day, give you the same result that even the big companies would. The only difference probably will be the amount of warranty, that is added to that. So that's for standards. Standards ensure that one is that are used to program the PLCs. You also have the ones that talk about the electronics, that are used to make these systems. You have the ones that talk about the security that enters into these systems. Okay, all inside the IEC. There are also sister bodies that look at standards. You have ISA. ISA is the International Society of Automation. And they have parallel standards, with what you start looking at things like fireproof, fire protection, and all the rest. Okay, so different places in marine situation, you have standards that speak to marine. Why? Because like I said, innovation is not innovative if it is destructive. One of the things you learn about is IP rating of systems, okay? The ingress protection. Ingress protection, as much as it can be vague, in the sense that you see the system and you are not really sure, okay, and put it outside. Why? Because you have two major factors, which is water and dust, that could turn that beautiful cabinet to a dangerous equipment. Okay? So you have all of these standards, and what do? They make it safe, they ensure quality, they ensure posterity. Now, why should you bother about these standards? If we go into the standards themselves, okay, and see what they do. Okay, they're on the same slide. You have the conformity assessment that says basically this equipment, okay, is fit for use. This control philosophy that you have, okay, meets this equipment. Many companies today have what they call feed. They enter the feed and then they check for their process, how the equipment will interact with their process. And many a time when you see the ITT that comes out, the ITT will specify standards. It will specify certain requirements that that system needs to have. And so at the end of the day, when the system is built, when it is selected and when it is built, you don't have any surprises. If you are looking for a system that is going to give you 99.9% availability to ensure that your process doesn't shut down, if you're in a continuous environment like oil and gas, you wouldn't be getting a PLC that is meant for discrete purposes, that is just supposed to do start and stop. Why? Because you have checks and balances, tests that have gone on first in the standard for that PLC to function in that space, and for the process that is interacting, with that standard. The other one is the ISO quality certification. In Nigeria, we have Standard Organizations of Nigeria, okay? And part of what they do also is that they do test, SON, they do test some equipment. It's not very, their testing is the specification of that system. We understand why it works the way it works, okay? The algorithm has been written and has been put into these controllers, okay, that ensure that it's doing what the philosophy that is running the plant expects it to do. Then you also have a confluence of rotating equipment, transmitters, and the rest that all come together to ensure what? That you have a system that is working the way you expect it to. So when you now take that system working over time, you take the history of the system, you do some machine learning on the system, now you're able to see, I am able to predict that this machine is going to have some failure at this period of time. This is when you start having a regression in the system and you need to start planning for a replacement. You're able to do that because of things like quality standards. And these quality standards don't just speak to the equipment themselves. They also speak to organizations. You have the ISO 9001, very celebrated. There shouldn't be any organization that is producing systems for any plant that doesn't have, is either in the bid to get ISO 9000 that are not going to work the way they should work. The other one is the industrial certification standards for professionals and also for industry with ISA. So the ISA professional certifications, in fact, that question you asked when you said, I want to go into automation, where do I start? I'll tell you how I started. In fact, my story is very funny. When I started, I read electrical engineering, and I decided to go into installation school for medium voltage and low voltage equipment. And I got so fascinated with relays, So I would arrange them and turn lights off and turn them back on, turn motors on, and it was so fascinating. I would do them in different ways. And I could see that I always tell people, have a 25-year plan. Don't start out today saying, okay, now what I want to start doing now is just to program. Have a 25-year plan that looks at your career and says, in 25 years, where do I want to be? You say you want to have CAP or you want to have CSTS or something of that nature, the certification training for technicians, okay? And when you look at that, you see the requirements there for you to get to that position. And what you start doing is you start planning yourself. So the ISA certification plan is a very good place for engineers to start. Itself is a whole different kettle of fish, okay? But the thing is that they started. But when you start, you see that there is something that propels you into a certain direction, that moves you into a certain direction from where you were. And you are now able to have certifications that speak to that. Because one of the things that I've seen that, make people shy away from certain roles, and even for organizations, that they don't necessarily pick you, say when you apply for those roles, is the fact that you do not have the certification to show that you know what you know. It's a big piece that is missing in industry. You have people that are very good at things and, they just go ahead with them. But they've missed two things. One, they've missed the standards. So they are following rudiments. But when you cleave to the standards and you know that, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then you get certified. Okay, to say, I actually know. So it's important that we pay attention to those things. Because the opportunities don't come for those who are not prepared. It comes for those, like Mr. Wale said, who have invested in themselves, understand what is necessary in the industry, and have something to show for it. So I'm just going to go to the last slide. I was told I have 4 minutes, so I may not be able to talk about compliance, So the key takeaways that I would like to talk about here is that, one, standards ensure safety, interpretability, quality, forming the foundation of reliable industrial automation. It has to be reliable. It has to be something that I can bet my money on and say this is going to work. Certification programs validate compliance to standards, enhancing organizational credibility and best practices. It's not only to say, oh, this is proven in use. Even that proven in use should be tested to say it actually works. And anybody, anywhere can make it work. Because there are very small things that we don't, take cognizance of. Things like humidity. Things like heat. Okay, what was the first issue that, EVs had? In climates like our own, in Saudi Arabia and in Dubai and in Nigeria. The heat. In fact, Nigeria is even better. In many of those countries, they wouldn't touch an EV. Why? Because the people who made them, most of them came from America, from China. These are very cold climates, okay? But when you now start looking at the thermal conditions of these vehicles, when they come to very temperate climates, then they start having issues, okay? So certification programs validate, these standards. And it's just a shame that in places like Nigeria, we don't have local, robust local testing certifications, that ensure that, these equipments fit our climate. But that's what they are supposed to do. And then compliance with legal, environmental regulations to protect human life and organizational integrities. Okay, this is what compliance does. We didn't really touch on them. But you have things like CISA, okay, that ensures that system integrators are doing what they are supposed to do. Okay, audit processes that check the organization, check the technology that is coming into these places and ensure that, okay, this is actually a place you want to do business. And then the last one, prioritizing these pillars reduce risk, boost productivity, fostering innovation and global competitiveness. It's very important that an engineer, and we have a lot of them today, can go outside the shores of this country, and they are not local champions, they are global champions, okay? We have a lot of engineers, but what is going to make them stand in every climate, and I know a lot of guys doing great things, in different countries, what is making them stand in those places is the fact that they know the standards, okay? And they have been certified. And also companies that are doing not just stuff in the Nigerian space, but are doing stuff in different other countries in Africa. In fact, I will tell you that Nigeria is very forward when it comes to automation. When you look at their sisters in the West African landscape, okay? And even in the larger African landscape, we are very much ahead. And so we need more people who are paying attention to standards, who are paying attention to certifications, engineers that are not just caught in the rat race, chasing paycheck to paycheck, but are driven by passion to know.
And for each of these games we are going to be playing, there are benefits, there are gifts to each of the games. So I'll list out these things. Now, one of the reasons why we are doing this is we want to know how much of attention we are paying to everything going on here. How much attention do we pay to details? So for every session that will be coming up here, you will be having questions. And one of the gifts that you might most likely go home with for the end of today is that first we'll be sponsoring 10 paid training. So we have if you can successfully, I mean, it's open to everybody. So we're sponsoring 10 paid training for 10 people. Now, TC, terms and condition. Emphasis on students. Emphasis on students. So if you are in the industry already with 4 years experience, it is not for you. You can answer question and get another gift. But for the paid training, it is more focused on students who are getting into the industry space. So for the student, pay more attention. Yeah, and there are going to be some other gifts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the session, Mrs. Belema. So I would like to invite upstage engineer James Edet. A warm round of applause. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I think a lot has been said during the introduction. We'll just go straight to the presentation so that we don't take much time. Earlier, I wanted to talk about various industrial trend, revolution that has come. I think Wale has also expanded on this industrial trend because I felt there are a lot of young people, there are a lot of people that also contacted me on LinkedIn asking a lot of questions. You know, sometimes I know all of us were not here in the 18th and the 19th century, but a lot of things has happened. So I will not waste too much time because this slide is here. Wale has expanded on the various industries. Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. The emphasis I want to make here, if you look the difference between the timing in Industry 1.0, which is the mechanical, please can you go back first so that you will find out that there are a lot of years difference, 100-year difference, 2.0, the same thing. But when it comes from 3.0 to 4.0, it's quick. And what is it telling us? It's telling us that we too, we need to be quick. Wale also made mention of something. He said, people say there are no jobs. But he said many people are failing interviews. Many people are failing interviews. So this is the point we want to make, that we should be ready as automation engineer who want to stand out, who want to be relevant, who want to be key. We need to also be fast. Because today, if we are not careful, we will go back to the era where we have foreign people coming, still doing little things in our midst. So today, we are talking about becoming a world-class automation engineer. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So, we are talking about becoming a world-class automation engineer. What are the necessary skills, tools, and mindset? First of all, what is automation? You know, we describe automation as the application of technology to perform tasks with minimal intervention. This can be involved the use of machines, software, systems that can carry out processes, you know, things that can be done manually. Things that can be done manually to increase efficiency, accuracy, speed, and reducing human effort, errors, operational, and reduce operational cost. Did you hear me say automation is a profession that takes up people's job? No. And today, okay, I tell you, for example, there are 100 people in a camp, maybe a refugee camp, waiting for food to arrive. And then I put 10 people in the process line to process this food. And then maybe I put 40 people in the land, in the place to process this food. and they are there. Some people come with their family problems. Some people are already having problems with their wives. Some people are already having, maybe they are looking at the payment and everything is dragging. And at the end of the day, they package this food. Instead of having rice and chicken, you will see rice, maybe banana, rice and this, mistakes. Maybe some, they will just package things. And at the end of the day, it takes them 50, maybe like 10 hours. Already people in the camp are already hungry, getting angry, scattering everything. Now, these 40 people, I lay them, I say, okay, stay one place. I get a machine who package this food in maybe just say 20 minutes, and these 40 people arrange these things, put it in a van, they are already there, they are eating. So if you say automation is basically it's going to take a job, no. I have been in a system where we have a machine that is producing 300 cubes per minute. Then suddenly we have, within some years, we have another machine that is producing 3,000 cubes per minute. So you tell me, okay, because then I can have 5 maintenance people on these machines. They will say, okay, at the end of the day, we have brought 3,000 cubes machine. We want to drive away everybody. Now we have 3,000 cubes who is running, reporting what is happening to it. And then these 5 people still can still work everywhere because what they are projecting out is more. So this is, when you say automation, is a profession that you use technology, software, to make things easy. So who is an automation engineer? An automation engineer is a professional who specifies in designing and developing, implementing automation systems and process. You know, it may be very wide, it may be very big. I don't want you to fear. There are processes. Most of us that have been in these industries for years, it's not that one day you just wake up and start designing machines, start doing wonders. We need to start from somewhere. But I'm giving a definition. If you are going to call yourself an automation engineer, you will specialize in developing, implementing automation system and process. You know, their primary role involves using technology to improve efficiency, producing productivity in various industries. You know, like manufacturing. Most of the time, they look at automation engineer as invisible people. They are invisible. You know, sometimes, I'm very sorry, even I have a new boss that came from another market. Sometimes he will just look at me. I will take my laptop, go to the plant, because he's a mechanical engineer who is not interested. It's a very maintenance mindset somebody. So whatever I'm doing, one day he will call me and say, I only heard our big boss said you did something like this thing was like this, it's like this. I don't know what you are doing. When you sit down to explain to him, say, come and explain to me. It's a very, very... So when you say an automation engineer, you have a lot of work to do. You know, system design, testing, debugging, you know, maintenance, documentation, like our sister has said, these are part of the activities of who we say automation engineer is. So, lately, I talked a little bit about different type of automation engineers. The industrial automation, we talk about, I will just slide, software automation, we talk about engineers, we talk about process automation engineer, we talk about industrial, industrial automation. Industrial automation, you can be in a company that does both process and packaging machines and other innovation. So there you can find yourself working on processes, trying to do modifications on programs that can help maybe improve to optimize the machines. All those are functions of industrial automation engineers. What are the new machines that are coming? Today we may have this machine. Tomorrow they improve the machines. That is more innovation. Tomorrow we are adding technology to the machines. Tomorrow we want to monitor. Today through RDS, remote desktop connections, here that I am, I can view what is happening in my systems, as we have said, in my processes, as we have said, even with the digital twin technology, we can view what happens. So different type of classes, you can stand up Probably most of the time you find yourself choosing this part of career, or you can make up your mind that this is what I want to be. I remember when I started my career, I was working with a company, like when I was, let me emphasize, when I was in Schneider Electric, it was earlier. We started, when Schneider started in this country, it wasn't starting with all this software coming. And I was coming from a manufacturing company like Dunlop, where I was busy programming. I will design. Before I get to the workshop, those guys are installed and go. They say, sit down there, you are a boss. I said, I don't, this is not my, because when I saw the position, project engineer, industrial automation, it was attracted. When I went there, there was nothing. We would buy even transformer, install it there. I would go and tell my boss, services job is the best. Services job is the best. Because I made up my mind that, okay, no, my career has to be automation. First of all, I started with telecom, climbing marks with Alcatel, installing PDU, SDU, traveling from one place to the other. You know, I got tired. I was paid money, 6 months. I rented a house. I wasn't sleeping there. I was running up and down, climbing all the hallmarks. Then I make up my mind. I said, this is not what I want to do. I want to do electrical and automation. And so I was lucky to be employed by a company like Dunlop. So I started. So when I started having the feelings that something is wrong, so I ran to Schneider. But in Schneider Electric, I said, they were paying me well, they were doing me well, but I started losing the trend. So because I belong to a group of people that they are doing new things, they are coming, so I saw the opportunity with Nestle, and then I moved. The first time I resigned, my boss said, wait, they convinced me I stay under 2 months. I allow him to travel to Cote d'Ivoire, then me too, I resigned. But today, I am very, very proud of those decisions I've taken, the people we have developed, the people all over Ghana, our Central Africa region, you know, and many, thank you very much, thank you. Many of our young people here who have come around, who have met them, you get me, many of them, you know, they know me. Wale know me very well. I am an advocate of local content competency, and I have done training for a lot of people in our Ghana office, in our Cameroon, everywhere. One of my functions is people development, and that's what I want to see in this country, because I know things will change. Things are changing, and they are moving fast. Please, the next slide. Okay. So, type of skills for automation engineer, you get it. If you want to be an automation engineer, number one, instrumentation and control skills are very, very important. Electrical instrumentation and control, instrumentation, flow, pressure, temperature levels, all these skills you must know. What happens when there is a flow? What happens when there is a temperature? When there is pressure? You know, electrical signals. Also, we see communications. You must know industrial communication. You must know what communicate with this. How does, where did you get, maybe you see temperature rising. How do we see? You have a lot of SCADA systems. You can know how to develop a lot of systems so that when it comes to even other systems like Allen Bradley, maybe plant connections and all those HMI and SCADA system software, you know, you are already key in. So we also see advanced robotic, AI, all these skills are very, 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 very important for you as an automation engineer. And we also see, like, you need to have a curious mindset. You have to be critical in your thinking. Anytime you see a system, think, what is coming out of this system? Why is this system like this? If I see a car moving, and it just moves like this, somebody is controlling it remotely. What is connecting this car? Because there must be something connecting this car somewhere that is making this car to move. There is no invisible person. So what is the thing that is connecting this car to this? So that type of curiosity, that type of communication has to be with you. It's a skills that you will know. Please, let's go to the next slide. Okay. We see tools. I put a lot of tools, programming language, graphical tools. Okay, let me just make it lighter. Programming languages like Python is necessary in this, as we have said. The days of ladder logic is getting less because the requirement, if you are going to do, you need to know some level of scripting, because there are some programs that require you to just do script, change this and this. So that's why Python, C++, Java, 3 majorly, and all these things. Aside the graphical ladder logics, sequential functional chart, functional blocks for the graphics tools that you need. All those things are in the internet. As Wale has said, if you have 50 gig, I'm telling you, you can do something. You know, there's one thing I tell my students. Learn one thing every day. Just learn one thing every day. If you see a transmitter, what is this transmitter doing? What are the signals coming from this transmitter? If you learn for 20 days, you are 20 times knowledgeable than the person that didn't learn. And what is the difference between you, an ordinary guy, and the extraordinary guy? Is the number of time, the extra time that you spend doing something differently, you get me, than that person that is already sleeping. And that's why if you see a young guy that is diligent in his own business, he will not stand before mean men. He will stand before king. So you have you have also the structural text. You need to, some people just hate anything programming, even if it is 2 lines. Sometimes you are looking, you are gathering borders about the burden of how am I going to start. And at the end of the day, you only need like 20, let me say 10 words to execute what you want to do. They are just burden of programming. You are doing the program, you are putting the burden on your head on programming. But start. Please, next slide. So we talk about control system, automation software, SCADA software, HMI. SCADA means supervisory control and data acquisition. HMI software, all these are good tools for you. Simulation tools, they are there on the internet. It's necessary for you to have, for you to do, to know all these skills so that you can be able to be a very, very good automation engineer. You also talk about the control hardware. Take time. What are the things? You must know PLCs. What are the different type of PLCs we have? The Allen Bradley PLC, we say Siemens, the hardware. What are the different generations? Take time to study. I say know one thing every day. Know one thing every day. You see IOs, communication cable, try to see them, try to know about them. You know, interconnectivity. All these things are simple things. You get me? As simple things that you have to learn. Like Schneider, quantum modicon, different things. They are very, very necessary for you. They are very good tools for you to be able to learn to be an automation engineer. So, what are the mindset? What is the main mindset? The main mindset is that you need to grow. Create a growth pattern. Make up your mind. Tell yourself, this is what I want to be. You need to grow. You need to tell yourself, I want to grow. Because if you don't have a destination, every road, every place is a destination. You should not be the type of person that will say, how far? Are you at home? Follow us. And they just stand up. You are always available. You need to have growth mindset. You need to give attention to details. You need to be curious. You get me? You need to be adaptive. You need to be curious. You need to be adaptive. You know, if you are not curious, they say curiosity kills a cat. You have made up your mind, oh, I want to be an automation engineer. Tomorrow, you see that, you see people doing another thing, electrical, and you are there. You cannot be jack of all trades. So, this mindset will be able to help you, you know, and also collaborate, belong to Nanja Fest, belong to ISA, all this, and also try as much as possible to get certification. You know the importance of certification. It will help you to try to know, you may not know everything inside, to try to know the A to Z of about this. Then it can give you direction. This you will do first. After this, you will do this. After this, you do this. This you will know first. After this, you know this. This certification, don't just say, I'm afraid to fail the exam. Read all the volumes. Read all the volumes. All the certifications I've ever done, you know, sometimes it takes me like 6 months reading. Because when you read, you start finding the interest in it, and then it grows and develops. So, to me, if you take these steps, you look at the little skills that are there, and you collaborate, you join these groups, you get, ask your questions, maybe probably on.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So you can have your seat. So one of the first thing I would say is, who know about the 1% rule by James Clear? Which says that for every, it talks about consistency, you adding value to yourself every day. So you make sure that on a daily basis, at least one thing, you shouldn't go a day without learning one thing. And if you accumulate that over a month, you find out that you've acquired quite a number of knowledge. So that's one key thing. Now, I have a question for us from what was presented. A lot of things were presented here. One of the first things I'd like to ask is, who can help differentiate between an industrial automation and a software automation engineer? It was displayed here. Who can help differentiate? Okay, I have somebody. Close, but something is missing. Okay.
My name is Victor Ugoti, and so for the automation engineer, what he does is that he designs, he develops, and he also implements automated systems. While the software engineer, what he does is to develop softwares that can run this system, this automated system.
All right, thank you. So you are also in line, but the key first thing he mentioned, which was what was missing, was that the industrial automation engineers are the ones who design, put all of these things in place, like your FDS and the likes, and then the software engineers actualizes the design that the industrial automation engineers have put in place. So I have one winner from my end. I still have about 21 more to go, so I have one. So next in line, we'll be calling on the next speaker, without wasting much of our time. So we're calling on Mr. Frank Chikwandu. Please, a round of applause while we're expecting off stage. So, and then our focus here will be on cybersecurity. Trust me, we have a lot to learn. We have. All right. Okay.
Thank you so much. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, all. Okay. Although he said my time has started, but I've wanted to just make some remarks before I start. You know, when I was told I'm coming for this event, and I was like, wow, that's a very nice one, because I want this kind of conversation to start. And we need to continue to have this kind of conversation and this kind of gathering where we motivate people, where we discuss the issues, where we raise concern for the importance of local content. Also, when I was also going through the people coming for this event, and I saw the name of Engineer Malam Ibrahim, I was so happy to see him again. You know, I keep saying this, I say it anywhere. When you talk about maintenance and reliability professionals, I think over 80% of us in this country pass through him, right? And I say it, if you don't pass through him, maybe perhaps, I don't know where you started from. So, well done, sir, for all you're doing, and your team at Benia, very excellent people. Well done. And again, although I have not met Wale before, but after listening to his keynote speech, I can tell you he has built a very strong foundation upon which some of the things we'll be talking about here will be built upon. And also listening to Engineer Belema, all right, honestly, when she talked about standard, oh my God, I could resonate with what she was saying. Normally, when I visit any of our locations and the engineers, the automation engineers, they want to impress me. We have built this, we have built that, I say, okay, fine, that's good. But once I ask, please, upon what standards were these things done or applied and all that? Where are the documentations? Once you cannot be able to tell me this, I lose interest in whatever it is you have done. Yeah, not to kill the creativity, but there's something I always tag. The sins of the fathers we see in automation. People have done things, but there's no documentation. There's no standard. There's no reference. There's no way to go. And you meet a young engineer who just came to the manufacturing environment. You ask him about this. Oh, it was done some time ago. I don't know about it. And they cannot lay any emphasis on it. And it becomes the sins of the father because nobody knows anything about it. And if you have issues with it, we don't know. It becomes a black box. So we need to discourage all those kind of things. And we need to ensure when we build things to standard. So thank you so much. Yeah, and also to Engineer Edet. Wonderful. Thank you so much for all you're doing. I learned you coach, you mentor, and also from your career journey, I can say you really know your onion. Well done. So that said, I'll stand all the existing protocols, the organizers, well done. So I will talk about the resilience by design, building cybersecurity in automation from day one. You know, most times our people, what we're so much interested in is just building the basic process control system. But that's not all. Even after you have built the basic control system, you also need to think about the safety. You know, that's why you have the SIS, Safety Instrumented System. And after that, you also now, because of the way technology has evolved, like what Wale said, with Industry 4.0, the IoTs of this world, the need for connectivity, it has given rise to a lot of vulnerabilities in our control environment. That is the IACS, that is Industrial Automation and Control Systems. So the emphasis is now on how do we build cybersecurity from day one when we're talking about designing a basic control system and let it not be an afterthought kind of a thing, things we'll remember after we have deployed. And again, I must say it, because I see it happen. Even when I go to sites, I see our people are more interested in it is working. But they are not also interested in building what is sustainable, what can withstand. If there's a disruption, can this recover? So we need to start having that conversation from the design stage, not after we have deployed to site. Now, when we talk about resilience, what comes to our mind from the English dictionary, of course, is the capacity to withstand, to recover quickly after some difficulties or any kind of disruption. There are other adjectives that can go with it: toughness, adaptability, robustness, ability to withstand, to bounce back. So with that said, when you talk about resilience in industrial automation, start from the design, not after you have deployed. Then again, how can I withstand this if it happens? Then again, even if it happens, how do I respond? How do I recover? To ensure that I still maintain the original intention or the function of that control system. That is what we're talking about now. Right? So, and of course, we know the impact. If you have a system and you have a successful cyber attack on your system, there are a lot of issues it can create. You can stand to have a production disruption. Resilience by design. When we talk about resilience by design, it's a strategic engineering philosophy focused on building systems that can anticipate. I already talked about that. And it's an approach where robust and recovery capabilities are foundational requirements, not a feature you add. You know, when you are designing, most times you start defining what are the requirements, what are the ingredients I want this system to have. You know, just like what Engineer Ede talked about, designing, and control system, we have all our people here, we can do all those things. But now the way the technology is going, we are now going beyond building basic control system. We're also seeing how do we build safety in our control system, and also how do we secure our control system. And, you know, and there are factors leading to all these things. Now everybody is about productivity. How do we improve productivity in a work environment? How do we get more from the little we have? How do we improve profitability? How do we create more value for the stakeholders, which involve the shareholders, the employees, and the customers and all that? How do we build value? You know, and because of all this, the captains of the industries, the executives, what they now want is, oh, how do I now build a system that can withstand any form of disruption that can happen and still maintain its original function? In other words, how do I build a safe, smart, and secure system? So the discussion is no longer on the basic control systems. It's now, how do I build a smart system that connects to others and talk and exchange data, and at the same time, improve its security. And just like what Wale said, with connectivities comes with vulnerability. So how do we ensure that we mitigate the impact of this vulnerability? And that is the discussion of cybersecurity. And you know, when we talk about cybersecurity, what comes to mind most times before now is in the IT environment. But I can tell you, with the way technology is going, IT is now converging with what? OT. Some of the IT terminologies we see in the IT, some of the terms we see in the IT environment, we're now seeing them featuring in OT environment. And when we talk about cybersecurity, okay, that's what this is talking about. There's this cybersecurity triad, which stands for the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In IT environment, when you talk about cybersecurity, these are the three major terms it's all about. How do we maintain confidentiality of the data? How do we ensure that the integrity of data is sustained? And how do we ensure that data is available, right? But in industrial control system or IACS, what is more important is safety, availability, and what? Integrity, in that order. Unlike in IIT, it's more of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But in OT environment, it's more of safety, availability, and integrity. So cyber threat actors include, but are not limited to all this. You see hackers. Okay, migration of IACS technology, IACS Industrial Automation Control System. Before now, what we used to have is a vendor proprietary systems, right? Whereby, oh, okay, maybe it's only Siemens or only AB, that is Allen Bradley, or only Honeywell. So most times these systems are air-gapped. When I mean air-gapped, it just stand alone, it's not connected to anywhere, it's just doing its base. We have evolved from vendor proprietary systems to even COTS, that is customer off-the-shelf applications. Like now, most of our systems, HMI, runs on Windows. I don't know if any of your systems is still running on Windows XP. Do we still have systems still running on Windows XP? In industrial environment. You know the funny thing about it? In industrial environment, if you go there, you see more of legacy systems. I can tell you, go to some of these systems, you see some of them are still running on embedded XP. So there's no security on them. Because even the OEM of XP has already stopped supporting XP, right? But the thing is that oftentimes the rate at which we change in IT environment is not the same as the rate at which we change the technology we already deployed in IACS environment. Now, I've been talking about softwares like what Engineer Edet talked about. You have your S7 Semantic Manager, you have the Factory Talk, you have the Wonderware, you have the WinCC. Then the technologies, especially the network technologies we use in deploying these connectivities of either the hardware or the softwares. Looking at now, we have things like the EtherCAT, we have the PowerLink, we have the Ethernet IPTCP, we have CAN bus, which used to be in automotive industry, but now it has found itself in industrial environment. So there are a lot of protocols, communication protocols. We have the Profibus, we have the Profinet, finding itself in industrial environment. And why are we talking about this? Because when I was told this, I said, okay, fine, maybe to deploy this discussion, we need to look at some of the what's, and that is what I'm talking about. Then we can now talk about the why and also the how. Okay, so these are typical examples. So do a playback to see what's happening in a process and how can you now maybe probably analyze further, create some insights that will help you to plan better. All these things are, why are all these things coming up now? Because, there has now been evolution of, it's no longer about what happens in the shop floor alone, right? But how do we connect the shop floor to the office floor? Most of the executives are at the office floor, right? Good. Most of the shop floors will have the technicians, the operators, but how can we connect them to have both real-time data and also historical data so that they can analyze and make informed decision? Next slide, please. Now, we have seen some of the words. We're not going to talk about why are we doing all this. The world is becoming a global village, right? These days, you can have a plant facilities in Nigeria and it will be operated from somewhere outside Nigeria because of the level of connectivities. And those connectivities are enabled via the corporate network or the enterprise network, right? And with the exposure of our OT infrastructure to the IT environment, it makes them vulnerable. So before now, the target will be to disrupt the enterprise network. But now the hackers know that if we can enter the enterprise network, we can also access the OT network, right? So that's now said, oh, we cannot limit cybersecurity only at the enterprise network. We also need to bring it down to the OT environment. And in the OT environment, we'll look at some of the things about the OT environment when we look at the Purdue model. So with this, a successful attack on OT systems can have a severe consequences. I already talked about that. Oops. Okay, so I think I need to be fast. Please give me just 2 minutes. So I'll just wrap it up. So to discuss the cybersecurity in OT environment, there are a lot of frameworks, right? But I decided, because of time, I decided to just pick 2. You have the NIST, that is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, is a US agency. I think they came up with the framework for cybersecurity in 2014, and they have it simplified, just 3 layers where you have the core, the tier, and the profile, and the core expanded into 6 functions, or categories rather, and those categories are now expanded into functions. So there are a lot of discussions in each of these functions and also categories. But the most prominent one, I've heard about ISA. ISA 1999 also started to have discussion on what should be the framework for cybersecurity in OT environment, and later merged with IEC and came up with what we call today the IEC 62443 standard for OT cybersecurity framework. And if you go back, just go back 1 step. Okay, so for now, because of this topic, we'll be looking more about design, cybersecurity design, looking at the component level, looking at the system level, and what are the requirements, what are the things that need to be put in place. This is an entire discussion on each of these models. Go forward, please. Okay, now, building cybersecurity into industrial automation and control requires comprehensive life cycle based approach known as security by design, adopting inherently safer design. This is just telling me we need to start from the beginning, not after the component has been deployed. The goal is to ensure a safety, safety, availability, and integrity. I already talked about that one. And this is also strongly recommended for organizations that have what we call enterprise risk management, which is more of prepare and prevent, and also organizations that have what we call the BCM, which is business continuity management, meaning you need to prepare for this in your system deployment. I know most in our own climb, maybe perhaps because we are more of system owners and partly system integrators than product suppliers. I don't know if we have any OEMs in Nigeria in our ICS environment. I don't think so. Do we have? I stand to be corrected. No. Schneider, no. Schneider, when you say Schneider, it is not indigenous. Is it? It's not indigenous. I'm talking about indigenous product supplier, OEM. It is a market. Oh, you do? Oh, great. I would like to know more about your company as well. Because you know why? We are more dominantly asset owners than just few players in system integrators. And very, very minimal, maybe because of him now, product OEMs. And if you go to most of our industrial environments, what we see mostly is foreign OEMs, fewer indigenous system integrators, and more of foreign integrators. Okay, so, but to go further, sorry to digress. Now, I advocate we should do a risk-based framework. Risk-based framework meaning that, first and foremost, you need to look at what are the threats, right? What are the threats? What are the vulnerabilities? You identify, you analyze, you evaluate, and with that information, you look at what are the potential threats on ICS or OT environment. And with that information, you now prioritize the resources available to you as an organization and know which one am I going to deploy. You will not deploy cybersecurity evenly on your OT environment. There are some OT environment that houses infrastructures that are very, very critical. So those ones that are very critical are those ones you can now deploy more resources to secure, right? Now, in implementing this, because of time, I need to be fast, please. I know I've exhausted my time, but this is a very important field that we need to engage on. So looking at this is Purdue model, very important. I don't know how many of you have seen this before now. Okay, good. So this Purdue model has 6 layers, and what it has done is this. The things you see are the DMZ zone, so that external network can access them, and they don't need to go into your inner OT environment. Are we together? Then beyond that, you have now the corporate network, which is the IT and also the cloud, because I also heard about somebody talking about cloud. You know, I was discussing with my team. I said, very soon, we'll no longer be having some certain control devices we used to have in the field, because now the business owners are also looking at cost of maintenance. And they feel like, oh, well, if I don't own these assets, but I can lease it, it will be somewhere in Europe or somewhere in US, just like what you see in IT environment. Even your PLC can be in maybe somewhere in another continent, managed by somebody else, but connected to your physical process. That's part of cloud computing. Your cloud computing is no longer software deployment alone. Even hardwares are now being deployed remotely. That is the future. Because you know what? Because the more assets you have, the more the need for maintenance, and the more you have to spend to also maintain. And remember, for a businessman, he's looking at creating value at a minimal cost so that he can also maximize profit. Now, what are we trying to say here? Even when you have all these systems, okay, even when you have all these, please, my time is actually, I've exhausted my time, but I wish we can discuss further, right? But what I'm just trying to say here, even when you have all these systems in place, don't think it's still not vulnerable to attack. It can still be attacked. And I've also recommended for us to secure our systems, we need to start with risk assessment. We need to start with what we call network segmentation, where you create different VLANs, right? Different VLANs, and deploy the resources based on the needs on these VLANs, and also have a system like access control systems, where you have the physical access control system, role-based access control system, multi-factor authentication system, and the principle of least privilege. You don't need to give people access to what they don't need. You give them the minimum access to what they need to do their job. Then, of course, vulnerability management, incidents reporting, continuous monitoring, and importantly, training and awareness. Time will not permit me to expand more of this, but with this in place, we can ensure a well-safeguarded OT system, a resilient system, and also a reliable industrial automation and control system. Thank you.
All right, sir, you can have your seat.
Apologies to...
Sir, you can have your seat. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Just like you said, there's a whole lot to cover, which time would not permit us. But I know we all have a lot of questions because we heard IT, OT, VLANs, I know a lot of us, most likely it might be new to us, and for some of us, we're probably already doing all of these things. So there's going to be a panel session whereby the floor will be open for us to engage in asking questions. So if you have any questions, you can jot them down. But next, I'll be calling on Oladimiji Fatono to come on.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a good time. When someone heard the theme for the Automation Fest, they laughed at us. They said, this is a typical engineering song, and but I'm happy that we are all here today and glad to see your faces. So I'll be bringing on, let's call him a special guest on Engineer Daposho Soya. He's the former president of ISA. I have known him in different capacities, and he's a wonderful person. Everything he has done has always been to advance the growth of the industry in Nigeria. He's somebody that we all look up to, young engineers. When you try to do something new in the industry, you can always count on him. We talked to him. He had a very busy schedule, and somehow he still managed to make it down. So I can say more about him, but I don't want to take our time. So I'll be bringing up Engineer Daposho Soya just to join the panel session. Thank you so much.
Power and manufacturing. She specializes in software-based condition monitoring, applying data analysis and AI integration to improve equipment reliability, enable predictive maintenance, and optimize system performance. Isioma has extensive expertise with Endress, HOSA, and Emerson Instrumentation, as well as SCADA, Avia PI systems, and Honeywell Experion platforms, bridging the gap between field operations and intelligence decision-making. Currently serving as a service engineer at Prime Atlantic Global Engineering Services, which is Pages. She oversees mentorship and internship programs, guiding young engineers while promoting female participation in STEM. Her previous experience includes automation and control systems engineering roles at Arrow Technologies, Hexacon Engineering, and AETI, where she worked in the DCS and PLC programming, HMI design, and fire suppression system automation. Driven by innovation and collaboration, Isioma is committed to advancing industrial automation and building sustainable engineering capacity across Nigeria and Africa. So let's welcome warmly Madam Isioma.
Okay, good morning. Oh, it's afternoon already. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my panel of serious senior engineers. Highly appreciate today. Okay, so we'll just move straight to the point. So I'll start with Madam Belima. Oh, sorry, Engineer Belima. Okay, so my question is, why do standards matter so much in industrial automation, and how do they help you keep the system safe and reliable?
Okay, I think can you hear me? Okay. So I think I touched on it in the presentation I did, It's important because it's the very premise for innovation. It's innovation that you can recognize, that you can identify with. If you do not build to standard, then you're building to your own will. And the world doesn't work to our will. The world works, with different conditions in different climates, that we have to ensure that everything that is being built will work in any climate you put it in. So to be able to meet that requirement, you need standards. You need standards to say what I have built meets the industry requirements, meets the need that is there in industry. Engineers are there to solve problems. We don't create the problem. We meet the problem, and then we solve the problem. So be able to solve those problems, we need those standards in place to assure us that the innovation that we have put in place would actually solve the problems that are there in the world.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so my next question will go to Engineer Edith. So you made a statement about learn something new every day, and it's itched our heads, and we're like, okay, with so many new tools and technologies that are coming up every year, how do you decide the ones that are worth focusing on, so that you don't just learn things that may not really have impact to your industry?
Okay. Hello. Okay. Currently, there are new tools coming in, and it depends. If you are currently working as an automation engineer in your place of work, maybe you are a process, you are an industrial automation, process automation. Currently, you will look at what are these new tools that are coming. You don't just go in learning everything. You know, I told you in this our own industrial revolution stage, things are changing fast. So you have to look at what are the current trends. So that when you come to, because ISA, like ISA, other certifications, they are automation certification. It will give you brief of what you need to know. Know this, know the standard, know this, know this, know this. So now when I come to, I want to learn about Allen Bradley PLC, with this certification experience I have, it will tell me, okay, you need to know what are the control components, what are PLC, what are digital I/O, what are analog I/O, what is this, what is Ethernet communication, what is Profibus, what is Fieldbox. How then, these are equipment. How does it connect to the, remote desktops, or how does it connect to the digital control systems? If I have a pump here, you have a pump here. You know, you have learned equipment, then you go to the software. What software do I need? If I want to connect to HMI, what software do I need? If I want to do a SCADA learning, what software do I need? All this, it will help. So how do you catch up? How do you know what is changing? You know, you need to also collaborate with people. You know, you look at people. There are good platforms like LinkedIn, whereby you see what is happening. You can ask questions. You can come to a fest like this. With fest like this, you will know people who are the market leader, who are the leaders in the industry. You can ask questions. So it will help. You get me? So I look at it like that. By the time you should create a learning curve for yourself. You understand? Whatever you are going to do, I beg you, young guys, let's try to look for certification. And don't just tolerate you have to create the automation platform, put where it can be accessed locally, create the firewall so that it cannot be. It's not IT. IT will just put you a cloud there. How do you get to your cloud? How do other people access your system? So the SAP, all these things, is you. So you must look at the current trend, and then this is how you're going to get it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, just to add, so if anyone wants to ask questions, a barcode will be projected now. So you can send in your questions through Slido, and we would ask the questions to the specific persons. Okay, so my next question goes to Engineer Frank. So my question is, as factories now are being more interconnected, because we have a lot of SCADA systems, a lot of remote monitoring systems, what can be done to keep them secure from day one? Because I think we seem to have this issue where cybersecurity is a secondary thought, or is a thought that comes after an attack or later on. What should engineers do now? The young engineers know that, okay, if I'm deploying a SCADA system from day one, these are practical things to know about deploying cybersecurity.
Thank you for the question, a good one. And I also tried to talk about it when I did the deck presentation. Now, in the field of automation, it's no longer, like I said, building basic process control system. You are now the person also looking at how do I build a secured system, a system that is resilient by design from day one. So what you would do, you have to start with, I always say this, you have to start with what we call risk-based analysis or assessment, right? Assess the criticality of the infrastructure and now advise on what kind of cybersecurity measures that should be implemented during the design stage, right? It shouldn't be an afterthought. Okay, it's something that comes from the beginning. And how you do it, for example, if you have a server, maybe a historian server, getting data from your Brumag system or Bromag system, and you need to place it in a secure region, or where to think beyond that. How do I build a safe, secure system? So when I said, okay, fine, for this set of server and the data required, we need to put it at the DMZ. At that point, you say, oh, we need to create a VLAN for DMZ. Right? And you now start, oh, what are the IP addresses that should be deployed? Okay, I now need to give it to the IT people. I need to configure this IP address to be allowed for traffic, inbound traffic, coming from, depending on where it's coming from. Also, you need to also ensure that every traffic coming has to be what? Authenticated. There's something I would have mentioned when I was presenting. There's something we call the zero trust. And zero trust concept says, trust no one, always what? Verify. You need to verify all the traffic coming. What are they coming for? What information do they need? What assets do they need? For how long? And when? There are some traffic you don't allow at night, for example. I allow it only in the daytime. So all these things, based on the criticality, and those things come from your risk assessment, defines what level of technology or protection or cyber mitigation measures I should deploy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so my next question goes to Engineer Dapo. So I'm a personal fan, just to put it out there, that I consider you a world-class engineer. So the next question is, what does it mean to be a world-class engineer?
Interesting. Thank you for the kind words. Well, to be a world-class engineer is simple. I mean, understand the standards, know what you're doing. Automation is a body of knowledge, right? And if you can master, right, from A to Z, what is in it, what the standard says. If you join online communities and you rub minds with people outside your own climb, right? If you network properly, then, I mean, you'll be a world-class engineer. Like Wale, I've known Wale for a very long time when he was running the project at Benin, right? And it was a world-class project because the power plant at, what was the name of this power plant? At Benin Bypass. He was the project manager for the main automation contractor, you know. I have been privileged also to function, to move from here to places like Qatar, to Abu Dhabi, right, and even on secondment to the US for projects. And we've been able to relate with our international colleagues. One thing that stands for Nigerians is our resilience, right? We read a lot. We have the capacity to consume a lot of information. And then when you now get out there, but maybe because we do see ourselves as, okay, we are blacks and we are not from the advanced countries, we step down our capabilities. But when you begin to talk, you now realize that these people are highly specialized. We are generalists and we are specialists in many areas where we from project development to project implementation to maintenance. Right, it gave that understanding, and then I was confident that I would be able to build on this down the line. And before I stop, right, we've had so many discussions about career, and I just want to chip it in that if you're a young person here and you're looking to get into this profession and you don't have a career map, at least a 5 years career map, you've not started. You will be very, very confused because without a career map, because the scope is so wide. You will jump on this today, and then someone will whisper AI to you tomorrow, and then you jump on AI, and someone will whisper programming to you again. You jump on programming, and then you'll just be doing everything 20%, and you'll be master of none. All of my young friends, I don't see, she says I'm a mentor. She's my Oga. I am not a mentor. I don't see myself as anyone's mentor. I have younger colleagues, right? all of them that are close to me, I have a template I give to them. First, go and fill this in. Think through what you want to be in the next 5-10 years, and then we can now begin discussions. So if you don't have that document, then make it a priority. Create it, get a template, and segment what you need to learn per time. IT, as an automation person, you need to have IT knowledge. OT, you need to have OT knowledge. You need to be able to program. You need to understand electricity and all of these things. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so additionally, we have 5 gifts to give away. So 5 additional free training given to 5 random people. And again, please, if you're an Oga here, you're not allowed to volunteer for this. So please, preferably the students and the upcoming automation engineers. So my first question is in relation with the cybersecurity. So can anyone give me one of the 2 frameworks that are designed to create a standard for cybersecurity? The lady over there, raise the hand first. Women supporting women, I'm sorry. Okay. Go again.
Good day, everyone. The NIST framework and podium model.
I didn't get that.
NIST framework and podium model.
Okay, so I asked for one of 2 and NIST is part of it. Can I get the full meaning of NIST, please?
National Institute Standard and Technology.
All right, thank you. Okay, so please, our volunteers, please get her contact details for. Okay, so we'll move on. So we have some questions from the crowd. So this particular question goes to Engineer Belima, specifically asked for you. So under standards, you mentioned local standards. Example is the ANSI in America. My question is, what standards are in place developed for Nigeria?
Okay, like I said, in Nigeria, for you to have a standard or for you to approve a standard, you have to test the standard in Nigeria and then localize the standard. So we don't really have a lot. When you talk about automation and control, most of the standards that we apply are imported standards. Okay, and then when we see, how it interacts in the industrial space, sometimes those equipments are tweaked. So it's a good question to ask. I think it was last 2 weeks I was at SON. And what we are saying is that there is a lot of requests for interactions between the people in the technical space and the standardization committee for Nigeria. SON is tasked with approving many of these standards that come in for equipments that come into the country. Okay, and so it is good that in the automation space, we have people who are not just practicing, they know their onions, and they are participating in the different technical committees, like a committee for automation and control, and localizing these standards into the Nigerian context.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next question. Okay, this will go to Engineer Edit. So in order to start industrial automation as a beginner, how do you really start? Do you apply for training? Are there courses you can take? What would you recommend for someone that wants to start from scratch?
Okay. Let me, like myself. Number one, you must have a desire, as we have said. The first thing is desire. And sometimes when I talk to young people, I say some 5 things, D. So anything they want to do, I always go by those D, even not only starting automation. You have a desire, number 1. Number 2, then you are determined. Then you are diligent about it. Then you are disciplined. So when you have this desire for now is automation. You want to be an automation engineer. And yes, I know probably you may see as if all the fields, they are not readily available here and here. Probably you go to one interview, you are bamboozled. Maybe you meet somebody like us, we ask you a question, and then you started saying, when am I going to get there? But number one, the desire. Number two, you have a determination about it. Number three, you are diligent. You start, when you desire, then you pick up. That means when you have a desire, you pick up, this is where I'm going. I want to be learn the hardware equipment, learn the program that interacts, learn the communication programs. So this is your desire. If you go with that, with hard determination, discipline, as he has said, don't allow yourself to be distracted. Today maybe you are in the position of trying to know the communication between PLC, HMI, and other interconnectivity. You see AI. You want to just go and start. Go by that way. Get mentorship.
Because of time, we'll take just one more question. This question is going to Engineer Frank. So what is the best way to convince a customer who is running on an obsolete system that they need to upgrade to minimize cyber threats? Especially when they are being adamant that no, they don't want to make that expense. What would you say to us about that?
You know, I always hear this, even from my own place of work. Why do we need to upgrade this? Because of CAPEX, people are looking at CAPEX and looking at cost and all that. Truth be told, maybe perhaps 70% of our industrial systems in Nigeria are currently running on legacy systems. Systems that new technologies today, or the technologies that support the cyber security in OT environment today, may not be able to support. So if you have situations like this, how do you now convince a customer, that is an asset owner, that look, you need to upgrade this? Most times it starts with creating awareness on OT cyber security. The executives need to key in, and they need to buy that ideology of, deploy manager. If you want to learn about, for example, Siemens PLC, you now have to go for a tier portal to learn all this. So when you see that you are under a threat, not just attack from hackers, but even technical know-how, even OEM support of those devices you are running with. Because even when you want to source for spare parts, those things will not be available, right? So you run a bigger risk of even having this production disruption, even internally, because of procurement and sourcing. Now, when you now build cybersecurity into it, I'm very sure any keen executive
We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate.
Hope you're all having a good time.
We move Nigeria forward. To every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test.
So at this point, would be a lot of people have almost, I think, more than 20 different companies to make this dream a reality. Like I mentioned, it started from a bunch of conversations, and we reached out to people, and they were more than willing to support us. So at this point, I'll be inviting Engineer Dapo once more on the stage just to present an award to our sponsors. Yeah. Okay, so there will be some light refreshments while we are giving the award. So there's a tag that was given to you, something like this that shows, the food paper. So just bring it out, and then they would stamp that when they give you your food. So the first sponsor that we would be recognizing is Adeco Engineering. So we'll be inviting one of their reps. Where's Adeco? Yeah. Oh, yeah, so sorry. We need a volunteer to move some of these chairs. Yeah. So, yeah, rep of Adeco. Yeah. No, this is not Adeco. Hey, this is not Adeco. No, come. No, come on stage, please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, all right. So, I didn't want to present you with the wrong award. So, Engineer Dapo. Oh, okay. So they'll move. Yeah. So then, all right. So the next company that we would like to appreciate is Bainer. So we'll be inviting a rep to receive their award. Put your hands together for them. Thank you. Yeah, a round of applause.
We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress, Nigeria automation fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward.
Pages.
We elevate. We are the thinkers, we are the builders. We automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress, Nigeria Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate.
This is the first edition
we
of this
move
event.
Nigeria
I'm
forward.
really glad with how it's turned out.
We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward.
Thank you very much.
We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress, Nigeria Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward.
So while we're waiting for them, so Adax,
we move Nigeria forward.
As related to automation, please who can tell me?
We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress, Nigeria Automation Fest. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation's fast. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation. Last question. Who can help differentiate between Nigeria forward and a substandard? We move Nigeria forward. We elevate.
Yeah, my name is Julius.
We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow. We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward.
All right. So please let's move to this. Media team, are we ready?
We move Nigeria forward.
Are we? All right.
We move Nigeria forward.
1, 2, 3, go.
We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest.
Alright, congratulations.
Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward.
So, alright. Can we go again?
We automate, we elevate. We are the thinkers, we are the builders, we automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. From PLC to SCADA flow, innovation makes us grow.
We'll go 2 more times.
We like the spark, we lead the quest. Automation drive our nation's best. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward.
Thank you very much. We'll proceed with further questioning. Okay, can we go again? Let's try again.
We move Nigeria forward through every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test the power of progress. Niger Automation Fest. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we innovate. We move Nigeria forward.
All right, we'll try one more time again.
We move Nigeria forward.
Can we go one more time? Yes,
we
yes.
move Nigeria forward.
All right, congratulations.
We automate, we elevate. We automate, we elevate. We remove Nigeria forward to every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test. The power of progress. Niger Automation Fest.
All right.
Nigeria forward. We move Nigeria forward. We automate, we elevate.
All right.
We are the thinkers, we are the builders. We automate, we elevate. That we move Nigeria forward to every system, every line. With skill and vision so divine. Together we rise, together we test.
All right.
The power
So,
of